This is CBS Atlanta News at 11.
I saw that he was going to the restroom when he collected credit card payment. When he collected a cash payment, he would go straight to the cash register like he said.
A sharp-eyed restaurant owner catches a waiter stealing credit card numbers from customers, and CBS Atlanta is the only one with the video that shows just how the boss says he did it. Good evening. I'm Jaquitta Williams. Police say a waiter at a restaurant in Marietta spent his first day on the job taking orders and credit card numbers, but his boss caught him before he did any real damage. CBS Atlanta's Christopher King is live now from Marietta with how this guy got caught. Christopher.
Jaquitta, he noticed the new hire was going to the men's room here at the Marietta Fish Market a lot. We're live in Marietta. Christopher King, CBS Atlanta News.
All right, Christopher. So, of course, I'm sure you want to know how you can protect yourself. Well, here are some things you need to know. Try not to allow your credit card to be out of your sight. But if you do have to hand it over, as we often do, make sure to get it back as quickly as possible. Never sign a blank credit card receipt. Draw a line through the blank portions of the receipt where additional charges like fraudulent tips can be added. And of course, check your credit card statements regularly and report any unusual activity immediately. New tonight, inmates will once again handle lawn care in the Coweta County School District. This comes after an unanimous vote to approve the measure tonight. Now, the inmates will be nonviolent offenders, and there will be stricter rules in place, so inmates will not be on school property when students are present. Last year, an inmate flashed a student working at the school. Take a look at these two men wanted by Cobb County Police. Look, investigators say they went into an apartment at the Worthington apartment complex with handguns. It happened in April. The men demanded money from people who lived there, and then they took off. This, take a look, is a much better shot of one of the suspects. Do you know who this is? If you do, call police if you recognize either of these men. Right now, the Cobb County investigators are looking for the person responsible for a double shooting on Evans Mill Road. CBS Atlanta Sky Eye first captured the scene as breaking news during CBS Atlanta News at 5. Witnesses told police they heard shots fired, and then they found two men lying on the ground. They also say a red vehicle sped from the scene. New tonight, if you see something, say something. That's the message Atlanta police and concerned citizens in Southwest Atlanta want to get out. They held a public safety meeting at the Dunbar Recreation Center. Community members talked about crime prevention and tracking crime trends in the area.
We're looking at not just our zone, but also the zone right next to us. In terms of, so I would be interested in their stats and what's going on in that zone as well as what's going on because it affects us.
The group also talked about ways to get funding to support their crime prevention initiatives.
You're supposed to be okay. You're supposed to be okay. You can't be okay.
Alpharetta business owner Paul Bennett cried and at times laughed on this videotape. Officials recorded it after Bennett was involved in a fatal boating crash on Lake Lanier last summer. 13-year-old Griffin Prince and his 9-year-old brother Jake were killed. Bennett was in court for a motions hearing today. His attorney tried to get his case dismissed.
I was very satisfied with what happened. It gave me an opportunity to get some discovery from the state, and never expected on a case of this high profile for the judge to really grant it.
The judge denied the motion and set a trial date for November 4th. New tonight, people in the metro Atlanta area weigh in on a plan to build a rail service between Atlanta and Charlotte, North Carolina. Transportation leaders heard public comments on the issue tonight at Swanee City Hall. The rail service will be an extension of the Southeast high-speed rail system already under development from Charlotte, North Carolina to Washington, D.C. Only on CBS Atlanta, a musician is arrested for playing on the sidewalk. Eric McDaniel was arrested for playing his trombone outside Turner Field. He says he never asked for money, but police arrested him because he left his case open. McDaniel says it was never about money. It was about doing what he loved and showing the positives of being a musician, an image he says Atlanta has ruined for him.
You know, hey, I saw you arrested. I saw you in the jail. You know, it's like that. I don't need that negative image that I got, you know, that I'm starting to pick up from Atlanta. So I might as well, you know, go somewhere else, you know, where they support.
Officials with Atlanta police declined to comment on why McDaniel was arrested.
Listen, when a child least deserves love, that's when they need it most.
Bishop Dale Broner steps into his own when he steps into the pulpit.
Baby, I know you messed up here, but I believe that there is better in you.
Leaders don't merely produce followers, they produce other leaders.
I stopped by the church, an interdenominational ministry founded in 1991.
Ministry is in my DNA.
Yes?
I'm a fourth-generation preacher on my mother's side of the family.
The life that you live is the legacy that you leave.
Right now, construction crews are working on a new facility being built for the community, funded by the church. It's the Riverside Epicenter.
We wanted to be able to provide a safe place even for young people to hang out. Full gymnasium, we've got a rock climbing wall, we're putting a music studio there.
Boom, this and bam, that.
Bishop Broner says he had the call to preach when he was 7. At 7?
At 7, yes, yes. I didn't have to wonder, why am I here and what am I supposed to be doing? I had great clarity at an early age.
I'm tired of the same old routine.
But what you may not know is...
I have no desire for limelight.
Really?
I really don't. My natural personality is very, very shy and withdrawn.
If you really want to know who you are, you got to get in touch with the manufacturer.
We shifted gears to talk business.
I come from a line of business folks on my daddy's side and a line of preachers on my mother's side. My parents were natural encouragers. I grew up at our hair shows, you know, with thousands of beauticians and barbers from around the world that come to Atlanta twice a year, you know, for our huge hair convention. I grew up in every phase of the business, working in our drugstore. I used to work the register. I used to cut money orders.
Bishop Dale Broner has part ownership of the Broner Brothers Manufacturing Company, a multi-million-dollar family-owned corporation.
My dad started the first hair show in 1947 that was held at a YMCA that had 300 people.
A hair care business that's been around for more than 60 years. Before I ended my time at Word of Faith, we had to talk about his twin daughters, co-valedictorians at Spelman College.
We love you and God bless you all.
They have their mother's brilliance, but they have their father's discipline.
We are truly all friends. We love to be around each other.
Cheryl Underwood is best known for her colorful brand of stand-up comedy.
Drove back to Arkansas on a fourth of a tank of gas and slapped my mama because of...
But more people now know her as part of the CBS daytime show, The Talk.
I think the fact that you get to meet people that you never think you would meet, you know, CBS is the #1 network.
Cheryl, Sharon, Sarah, Julie, and Aisha made a bold move.
Let's do a little side-by-side comparison.
They did an entire show without makeup.
I thought, I'm never going to get married. Yes, whoever's looking at this is going to go, oh my God.
Yes, you will.
And then I thought, wait a minute now. Maybe he'll see what I look like before all the construction, and maybe he'll see me.
She's also tossed her wig.
Something in me said, but you better show him why you the big dog in the comedy. I said, all right, you want to do it? Boom, audience. Wah!
Cheryl has made no secret of her celebrity crushes.
You love John Stamos for real? Man, I love him. And when he sent me flowers, I was like, man, if I could just get him to go to church with me. Shut up, sit up in the front, and go, don't hate. That's me, right there, right there.
We talked about the people who support her and the ones who don't.
I want people to understand the good with the bad. If you say, Cheryl Underwood, you're great, you're looking great, you're losing weight, but I got to take the bad with it too. I don't like you, you ghetto. But also my job
is... But that's not hurtful?
Well, it does hurt.
Cheryl and I talked about giving back.
With all this gun violence, I believe if you put a book in a child's hand, they can't pick up a gun. They have hope. We are going to raise money through my company, Pack Rat Productions, for all 105 HBCUs.
That's historic.
$10,000.
Here's what, Nene, for a second.
Andy Cohen has made a career out of causing drama.
My mouth has been my Achilles heel, and it's the thing that's gotten me where I am today. I'm really bad with names with people.
What's my name?
Jaquitta.
Jaquitta.
All right, well, I'm in the ballpark. Jaquitta.
He loved watching soap operas growing up as a kid in St. Louis.
I need you.
To me, The Housewives is kind of a great modern-day docu-series soap opera.
So perhaps it's no surprise he created drama from a housewife franchise that really doesn't have a lot of women who are actually housewives.
Well, I think it's a play on the modern definition of housewife.
Okay.
Portia describes herself as a housewife in the truest sense of the word. That's what she aspired to be. A wife, a mother, the kind of a modern definition of a housewife. But
Do you believe your show in some way ruined her marriage?
the show magnifies the problems, and it makes you look at yourself in a different way. And most of the housewives who've gotten divorced that I've spoken to have said, look, I probably would have gotten divorced. I don't know if it would have happened so quickly, and I don't know if I would have had the power to do it. I was described more than once as very shady at the Atlanta reunion taping.
Would you agree?
I could be a little shady.
Okay.
I can be a little shady, but I mean, it's my job. You know what? I stir it up is what I do. I'm not shady. I stir it up.
Housewives of New Jersey and Atlanta are the most popular franchises, with breakout stars like Nene Leakes, turned book author and actress.
I don't pick favorites because I think it's a bad idea, but I'm really proud of Nene's success. I miss Sheree Whitfield so much. I always love Sheree. Kim, as you know, we're in business with. We encourage them all to get together as much as possible while we're shooting. What is felt, what happens, you couldn't make this stuff up. I'll tell you what's not real. If they're having lunch, we have to call the restaurant in advance.
Right.
And so that's all really set up.
Right.
You have to plan where you're going to be shooting.
Andy Cohen has always loved anything pop culture. He's written a New York Times best-selling book called Most Talkative, Stories from the Front Lines of Pop Culture. From working as a producer for CBS News 48 Hours and CBS This Morning to starting and serving as senior vice president of the Bravo Network, he says if he can do it, you can too.
Just go for your dream.
I'm still talking to you.
When you meet Jim Cryer in Tyler Perry's Have and Have Nots on the OWN network.
He's, flattery will get you everywhere. Not a good man. You have no idea the evil I'm capable of.
It may be hard to find any residue of the beloved character he played decades ago in the hit show The Dukes of Hazzard.
Just a good old boy.
It's such a wonderful memory in people's, part of people's lives, you know.
Hang on, cousin.
There's a good side and a bad side to that. I love The Dukes of Hazzard. I love Bo and Luke and Daisy and Uncle Jesse. My big problem with the movie they did was that they made Uncle Jesse a pot-smoking, lecherous old bad guy. It pissed me off. Bo was an interesting thing. People say, well, Dukes of Hazzard got you where you were. And I say, yes, it did, and it's kept me there for 30 years.
Set me up.
But Jim Cryer may be that one character to break the chain.
That's a good thing I have some. It is more fun to play the bad guy. These are people who are decadent and lovely and powerful and powerless and rich and poor all at the same time.
It's going to backfire in your face.
Very, very well written, very saucy, very spicy, very like, oh my God.
You are running for governor. This is absolutely going to destroy.
You'll see a lot more John Schneider in this than I'd like to admit.
John is excited about working with Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey.
If you're going to be fortunate enough to get on a sailing ship, if it's Tyler and Oprah's sailing ship, you're in for a good ride.
You're looking at a husband, father, actor, writer, and director. However, there's one thing he hasn't had yet, but he's working to get.
Been nominated for an Academy Award as a screenwriter.
Do you think you're good looking?
Do I think I'm good? No, I think I'm gray and rugged.
Really? You
There
think you're
we go.
rugged? Rugged is good looking though. That's kind of
I
like...
guess I was a big Western fan. I think I look like a guy out on a horse, and I like that.
Just a good old boy.
John, Jim, and Bo are all easy on the eyes and believe in hard work in front of the camera and behind it.
That's our boys.
Tenacity. I will not give up. It's the worst thing about me too. I will not give up. I can't.